Whatever it is that you're trying to do, in this video, we are going deep on how to be productive. Whatever goal, whatever endeavor you are trying to accomplish, there are certain things that really matter when doing this. And so I created like a mind map, and there are four basic things that I've built it around. Number one, remove distractions. Number two, the 80/20 rule. Number three, wig. And number four, delegate. So without further ado, make sure to get ready because we're going deep and we are going to answer some fundamental questions about what it means to truly be productive. Anyways, guys, you guys are watching a web of impact, a channel focused on empowering influencers and entrepreneurs to be better, to grow, and even to connect. We have some meetups here in Los Angeles where we connect in person, and also we have an online community. You can find all of that information in the description below. All right, let's get started, guys. How to be productive. Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to start with WIG here. So as you can see, we're going to go over through all these steps here. So what does WIG mean? In order to be productive, we got to, number one, the most important thing is to define what it means to be productive or what you're trying to be productive towards. So what I put here as WIG, which represents wildly important goal. You can only have one or two, no more than that, if you're going to try to be productive. You cannot be productive if you don't have a specific aim that you're trying to achieve. And that goal needs to be measurable, and you need a time. Set a date and set a time. So, for example, everyone knows what this is. I want to lose weight by summer 2024. Okay, that's okay, but we can refine that. I want to lose 25 pounds by July 15, 2024. That is what you call a goal, right? A very defined goal. Why? Because you have a date. Two, you have how much weight loss you want to lose. And three, you have a date when you're going to do it. So that is what you call a goal. So when you're creating a goal, define it, make it clear. All right, guys. Now, here's the fun part. Being productive. Being productive actually is really just focusing on what matters to get you to the goal. A lot of the times we fluff up the things. We do things that are not really beneficial to what we're trying to do. So with that being said, the 80/20 rule. I am excited to explain the 80/20 rule. If this is your first time ever hearing the 80/20 rule, then yeah, it's gonna be cool. So in order to be productive, we got to cut the fluff, right? But instead of cutting the fluff, what you really got to do is actually focus on the things that actually move you forward. Because in all reality, according to this rule, 20% of what we do creates 80% of the outcome. So therefore, that's the rule. It's like a theory. So therefore, 20% of what you're doing is actually going to produce the outcome that you want. So a lot of the things, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of the things that you are doing is not working and it's not going to produce it. Although you think it is, although your brain thinks it is, although you may feel like it's going to work, it's not going to work. 20% of you got to really think about what is that 20% that's actually going to work. And you got to focus and double down on that 20%. It applies to everything. It applies on YouTube. 20% of the videos that make most of the revenue for that channel. It applies in businesses. 20% of the products make the most in all. Let's say if they have 100 products, two or three or four, a percentage, 20% of that will be the top products that produce the most amount of income. So with that being said, cut down the fluff. Anyways, this is something you're going to find out over time as you start moving forward in being productive. But it's a very good thing to know because it allows you to, number one, cut the BS. Number two, rinse and repeat. Once you know what works, once you know the 20% of what is working, you rinse and repeat. Again, you got to define your WIG, your goal. It could be losing weight. It could be a certain profit margin. It can be creating something. It could be delegating. It could be building some type of website, some type of app, whatever it is your goal is, you have to define that. Okay. And so, with that being said, there are different things here, right? Um, When you create a wig, once you define what you are trying to do, you got to reverse engineer how to get there. So the next step would be baby steps. Create small little baby steps. You may say, well, why don't we go try hard? Why don't we just go all in? You could. That's great. Go all in, but go all in by doing baby steps. So what are baby steps? We all know what that is, right? Start small. Why? Because it actually reinforces your psychology. It reinforces your motivation to keep going. When you have small wins, you're going to want to keep going. And you cannot forget in the planning stage, you cannot forget about your humanity. You cannot forget about who you are as a human. You need that motivation. That's why break it down into baby steps. Another thing, track your progress. If you're going somewhere, you need to track your progress. How do you track your progress? In the easiest case example that I just used, weight loss. When you track how much you're losing weight, you can actually see the progress. And other things, track your money. If you're trying to reach a certain money goal, track it. What doesn't get tracked gets lost. So make sure you're tracking. If you're trying to make more sales in your business, are you tracking it? Is your data correct? You got to track it. You got to bring it down. Okay. How many leads are you getting? How many phone calls are you getting in your business, right? How many subscribers are you getting per week? I'm trying to give you different examples for different things, but you get the point. Track your damn progress. Another thing, guys, use a damn schedule. Block out your time. Time is the most valuable thing you got. Use a freaking schedule, okay? It's not that hard. And stick to it. Stick to it. That's probably one of the hardest things maybe a lot of people get lost in, but stick to your damn schedule. And here's another thing, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And that's actually, if you notice all this red, a lot of the red is actually pretty much distractions on what holds you back from being productive. I don't want to necessarily focus on these distractions. I don't think we should focus on the distractions because then we become kind of like smothered in them and we actually don't actually focus on the star, which is what? The goal. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize, right? But I do want to mention them and I do want to highlight them in red so that you are aware and you can not fall into the trap of these distractions. Number one, people. All right. People are, let me zoom in here. Negative people, not all people, negative people. People who are not there to help you. A lot of the times when you're actually trying to go and achieve a goal, you're kind of going uphill and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of motivation. It takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of believing in yourself. It takes a lot of stepping out. And in the beginning, it might not seem like a big deal, but if the wrong people are in your surroundings, they're going to convince you, don't do it. That's too hard. Why are you doing that? Why don't you do this? They're gonna say, "Oh, you're fine the way you are. You look great. You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to be. You look fine." People are gonna convince you, and that's okay, right? If you believe them, then you believe them. If you're strong, then you're strong. But you got to realize that we are humans, and we are affected by our environment. So therefore, we got to be careful with the people that are around us. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying to like make people the enemy of your life. I'm just saying just to be careful. I am not going to be the person to tell you that people are bad. No, people are actually good. If anything, I'm going to say people are ways people help you. And so, anyways, here we go. Bad habits. Definitely one of the things that will distract you will be bad habits. Okay. You know what that may be. That could be over drinking too much. That can be, being late. All those little things that they tell you as a little kid actually matter. So make sure you got your habits in place. Make sure you're at least aware of what your weaknesses are, because that is going to creep in and it creeps into your life that you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it and you may overlook it. So I want to say it right now. Bad habits. All right. The next one is going to be procrastination. A lot of the reasons why we procrastinate is because we don't have a clear vision. But if you get the wig down, the wildly important goal, the reason why I say wildly important goal is because the wig is not just a goal. It's the most important goal. It is what you're alive for. It is like, it is what you're moving towards, and your why. Why are you doing this? You know, there's always reasons why. For more freedom, maybe for a better body, for better health, if you're trying to lose weight. We all have different things that we want to accomplish, and therefore we all want to be productive in different ways. At the end of the day, We are trying to better ourselves and maximize our time, maximize our experience here on this earth. All right. So, with that being said, move on procrastination. Be clear. Once you're clear, the procrastination should leave. If not, just get to action. Sometimes you just got to get up and go. Perfectionism. This is a big distraction. And I really want to hone in on this because perfectionism is something that I've noticed because I've worked with a lot of business owners. I ran an agency for almost 3 years, and I've talked to literally hundreds of business owners. Everyone who has talked to me, I have a contact list. I have 600 contacts. In order for them to actually call me, they got to go through a process. So I could tell you, I'm not lying, hundreds of business owners. And I've realized some of the successful ones were the ones who weren't so stuck on perfectionism. They weren't so stuck on getting it perfect because a lot of the times when we're moving forward, we want things to be perfect. We want the perfect website. We want the perfect video. We want the perfect product. And yes, I agree, create a great product. But at the same time, when you're just getting started, if you don't move quickly enough, that fire and that momentum is going to die down. And therefore, you got to sacrifice perfectionism. It will come together in due time, but you got to move forward and realize that we're all imperfect. This whole life, this whole world, working for some of the biggest companies, I've realized even the biggest companies out there, they move forward. Despite what happens, despite what problems you may have, just it is what it is. We're moving forward. And that is what dictates your success in achieving that wig or that goal. Another thing, negative self talk. Guys, for a long time, I believed that negative self talk was a way of me to be realistic and it helped. And I would think that it would help me stay grounded and um, not allow me to overlook certain things. But at the end of the day, I realized that when I changed the way I think, because I thought I was positive, I thought I was, no, when I intentionally changed the way I think, in my business, it's crazy. I like tripled my sales. I was amazed by how it worked. Um, and so negative self-talk is really bad and it's actually going to hinder. And that could be things like, I can't do this. Who do I think I am? Or what if it doesn't work out? Or what if this happens? It's good to write down the pros and the cons. It's good to write down all the little things that you have. But at the end of the day, you need to say, we're doing this and we're moving forward. And if it doesn't, whatever happens, it's going to come together because I'm going to make it come together. And if I don't see a way out, we're going to find a back door and we're going to exit. There are many times where I was in a circumstance where I realized there's no way out. And I found one and it actually propelled me to the next level. So, negative self talk is not good. And don't be around other people who talk bad. Okay. That's what I call Debbie Downers and leeches. People, oh, okay. Well, let's start with Debbie Downers. Debbie Downers are always going to just like down everything. They're always going to down your mood. You're feeling great today. Why are you feeling so good? Aren't you scared? Or something good happens to you, and then they always have to find a reason why it's not that good. Okay, those are Debbie Downers, and I would suggest you just create some distance. And also leeches. When you do have success, when things go good, you will be surrounded sometimes by leeches. And these people are going to try to leech off of your success. They're going to try to jump. Hey, if you're cool with that, let it be. Let it happen. Just be aware because sometimes these people can sabotage the work that you've done. Okay? Don't want to go too much into that because I believe it's better to focus on what matters, and that is reaching your goal, and that is bringing your energy and your resources to accomplish the thing that you want to, right? You're on this earth to accomplish something, right? You're not just going to live life. No, you're here to make an impact. So, with that being said, what is your goal? All right. One of the big things that helps you maximize or really will help you take things to the next level. And I find a lot of business owners get stuck here, and that is the delegation part. The part where you have to work with other people, the part where you have to let go and let go of what you've built and allow others to build within your circle, whether that's your business entity, whether that's your team. You need to allow people to flourish, and that's part of delegating. And this is where things get really interesting because when you delegate, you can 3 times, you can like 10, if you got 10 people that you delegate to, you're literally multiplying that and reaching those goals by helping others reach that goal within your organization. So with that being said, delegate, trust people. One thing that I realized is I wanted to control a lot of things, but there was a time in my business where I was just like, you know what? I'm going to trust people. Yeah, there's a few things that matter to me, and there are a few things of security reasons that I need to take care of. But other than that, I'm going to create the guardrails, create the bank, the riverbank, and I'm going to trust the flow and let them handle it. If you hire them, if you're working with them, and you truly decide that these people are good to work with, then stick to what you do and work with them and trust them. And I would even push radically trust them. Because when people feel that you trust them, and when they feel that weight, they live up to it. Allow them to live up to it. Allow them to prove themselves to themselves. You're giving them work. You're giving them something to do. That is something very beautiful. So allow them to step into that identity or step into that shell that you create for them. Because when you have a goal, you create these shells for people to kind of be a part of something. And it's not just they're a part of something for you. You also could be a part of something for them. It's a mix and match. It's a forward and back. It's a dance. This can happen in an organization. This can happen with your friends. This can happen with partnerships. So with that being said, trust people and work with the best people. Like I said, the next one is work with the best people. Like I said, if you truly are working with somebody, then believe it, they're the best. If they're not the best, and if they're not the best for that job, then you need to make a decision and start to work with someone else. All I'm saying is believe in who you're working with and decide and move forward. Okay? Set milestones for people and be clear. That's one thing I've noticed. A lot of people are not clear and they don't know how to set milestones. No, at the end of the day, nothing is perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. Set the milestone and be clear. This is what we're going to do by this time. This is what we need to do. Do it at your best ability and then trust them. Then reevaluate and do it again. Then reevaluate and do it again. That should push you towards your WIG, your wildly important goal. While focusing on your 80/20, these are some of the ideas that can get you to your goal. Remember, track your progress, baby steps, use a schedule, and stay positive. You will slowly reach your milestones and you will reach that goal. So thank you guys. That is a video breaking down on how to be productive. And this was a video by me, Joey Ramos, here on A Web of Impact. Have a good one. Bye.